Dyer's ban.
And I'm going to be doing yet another Ninja Chris cast. Fortunately, this one was passed along to me from the Dota 2 Cast at Lounge, but I'm actually very excited about it because this is going to be the very first Captain's Mode I'm going to be doing. Still just a pup game, but nonetheless, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So, looking forward to giving this one a shot. Right now, we just kind of got started in the draft pick phase, and fortunately, in the Radiant side, we are actually seeing a little bit of a Tinker and a Doom pick. I'm also really excited to see this. Now, the Tinker was actually part of the caption into the pick for the video overall, so it's going to be a lot of fun to see this Tinker go, but also, it's always a lot of fun seeing a Doom, especially when they're going to be facing against a Nature's Prophet. That's going to be so much rat Dota. I'm actually really excited for this game. If you can't tell, I've only said it, 4 times now? Something like that. Anyway, let's remember, I can't switch out the announcer quick enough.
Dire team pick.
So we do see a lot of the reverse split push, or the return split push banned out on the Dire side. We see the Lycan and the Treant banned out. So at least that's going to be taken off the field, especially since both teams are picking relatively tanky, or they're basically both picking carries. Now the Abaddon could rotate into whatever they may need. But overall, we haven't really seen any true support picks yet, so hoping to see a little bit of that soon.
5 seconds remain.
Alternately, we have on the Dire side, we see, on the Radiant side, we have seen the Storm Spirit and the Vipers removed. I'm a little surprised. I guess they didn't think the Nature's Prophet would be mid, or at least that's what I was kind of expecting. And we even see a little bit of an Ancient Apparition. So we're getting a lot of global presence coming on the side of the Dire right now. I'm wondering if they're going to be able to have anything to do with it on the Radiant side. I just don't know how well they're going to be able to counter this. It's early, though. What am I talking about? I think that's one of my go-to things whenever I'm a little concerned of what I should be saying. So something else I need to write down in my little book and see if I can figure out how to stop saying that. It's never too late, especially when we haven't even finished. We've only finished half of the draft phase, guys, so hey.
Reserve time.
Nonetheless, a lot of mid heroes banned out on the side of the Radiant. Maybe they just don't expect this Nature's Prophet to go mid against them. Not entirely sure. Nonetheless, Dire taking full advantage of that. Banning out the Lycan, banning out the Treant, just as they should. We have a Disruptor, great little pickup on the side of the Dire, or on the Radiant. So that's going to be a fun one to watch. I love the disable. I love the recall, and you guys know it's a ton of fun to actually see that somebody teleport on top of a tower, and then the Disruptor, sends them right back home. Especially that. Oh boy, that's going to be especially useful against that Nature's Prophet.
5 seconds.
Just going to stop them from coming back into the fights. That's a great little pickup on their side. So well played.
Reserve time.
Still waiting for extra picks and bans. Extra picks coming up on the Dire side, though. Not entirely sure what else they would be needing right now. Maybe they do need somebody a bit. I would like to see another carry. I would like to see the Abaddon go support.
Queen of Pain.
And I stand corrected. Dire did not pick up a mid with the Nature's Prophet. They did pick up the Queen of Pain. So that will be quite a bit one-sided on the side if they're putting the Tinker against him, at least until he gets that Boots of Travel kicked in. So Boots, Bottle, it's going to take a while for the Tinker to really come online. And in the meanwhile, Queen's going to be doing a lot of ganking. See if she can pick off that Disruptor. Hopefully. Okay, and we see a Doom and a Tidehunter going onto the easy lane. So we definitely seem to have a tri-lane going on the bottom of the Radiant side. We're going to need an offlane for the Radiant. Who would work well? They're going to need a little bit more damage. Maybe a Weaver, I'm thinking.
10 seconds to pick.
I would ban out a Weaver if I at least was on the Dire side right now. They do decide to ban out a Faceless Void. I'm not entirely sure about that pickup, but what have you. They don't have enough nuke, I don't believe, to really capitalize on that Faceless Void's ability. So hey, to each their own. Likewise, we're going to look back up on the Dire side. We have an Abaddon, Ancient Apparition. We have a Quap mid, and I don't know. Maybe this is going to be another tri-lane? I guess we'll find out. Depends on ultimately what the Dire choose to pick out of this. Or I'm not sure anymore. I really don't know. Or potentially, I guess the Nature's Prophet could go into that off lane. So we would have AA Abaddon in the easy lane, Quap mid, Nature's Prophet getting the solo
Only
XP,
10
or at very
seconds.
least go in hard lane. So a lot of theory,
5 seconds remain.
theory casting right now, I guess, or guessing. We do have an axe and $10
Radiant
to say
team
he's going to
pick.
go the easy lane. So I would think the Ancient Apparition and the Axe go into the easy lane. The Abaddon and the Nature's Prophet go into the hard lane. We got the Quap mid. And I'm going to think on the Radiant side, we're going to have a Doom Disruptor Tidehunter in the easy lane if the Tide doesn't go into the hard lane and get that quick 6. Tinker in the mid lane, naturally. I
10 seconds
have
to pick.
never seen anybody do anything alternative to that. So
5 seconds remain.
plenty of time on the side of the Radiant, and they're going to pick up a Gyrocopter. That's definitely going to be the hard lane. So I'm going to go back to the standard tri-lane for the Radiant, and I'm going to think 2-2-1 on the Dire. So let's see how that plays out, or however they happen to pick it up. We're going to see on the Radiant side. I was waiting for the final picks, but I guess they're going to take a little bit longer to make sure everything gets figured out. So, not a bad lineup on both sides. I'm very thrilled to see standard 2 supports on both teams, or at least depending on whatever the Abaddon chooses to play. But too many of these pub games I've been casting as of late, they just don't tend to. Sometimes a team will just go full 5 carries, and that's not fun. That's actually what I was really excited to see in
10
Captain's mode,
seconds
because
to
I was
pick.
hoping to see some actual supports on both teams and some balanced play.
5
And we're
seconds.
finally getting
Hurry,
that. So
hurry.
looking forward to see how this all plays out. And we're going to turn on the default announcers right away. Going in for an instant pause. Wouldn't be Dota without an instant pause. So, how you guys doing? How's everybody doing? Tinker calling the shots. Shots fired already. So let's see how this goes. I'm very excited to see how everybody does this. Waiting. I am not good at that pause, so I'm gonna speed it up a little bit. There we go. So, something I will have to learn a little bit over time, but we'll see what happens. Disruptor actually picking up the dust, as well as the Ancient Apparition. So we've got a little bit of dust on both sides. I'm not entirely sure if we're actually going to see a smoke. Smokes on both sides. Not entirely sure if we're going to see any smokings right off the bat. So we've definitely got something going on the side of the Dire. What are they scoping out for? Maybe they want to go for drop in some wards. They've got some sentry wards on the side of the Dire, so this definitely appears to be a type of smoke gank potential, stopping the creeps from coming in. Definitely want to stop that Doom early on. Don't blame them in the least. So just going to follow them for a little bit, see where they happen to ever drop the wards.
30 seconds to battle.
Likewise, we got up on the Radiant side, we got the Gyrocopter and the Disruptor Tidehunter as well, even. Checking out that top rune. Finding out whatever they can. Ancient Apparition, wait until the very last minute to drop some wards. Stop as much of the creep camp as they can. And we even have a little bit of a Nature's Prophet tree checking everything out. So, a little bit of scoping. Interesting little Radiant board, Dire board being placed there. That's going to give them a ton
The
of
battle
vision.
begins.
And nice little creep camp on the back end. But we'll see what happens. That was definitely placed to stop the Doom overall, rather than against pulling the lane back, I guess. And we do have a little bit of early aggression coming back up on top of the counter Helix Axe in the middle lane. Abaddon helping him out, stopping that very early creep camp. Doom just can't do anything about it, so he's just going to back out for now. See if he can slow down the lane. Nonetheless, are they going to just walk right by the creep camp? Oh, they're waiting for the creeps to come up. We do have a tri-lane
Radiant's
on the bottom lane.
tower is under attack.
And the Nature's Prophet is already pushing really hard. No, excuse me. My mistake. I had it backward a little bit. He's got his trees, but he's not pushing anything with it. Nonetheless, we got a massive Radiant push coming into the mid. Right off the bat, we're not even a minute in. We've got 3. Okay, so Tidehunter is actually rotating and bounced out about the gyrocopter.
Under attack.
So, looks like I was way off, but this is already a very abnormal setup here for both lanes. We do have the Quap and the Tinker mid.
Radiant's bottom tower is
And we do have the Tide and the Gyro in the bottom lane. So, already down to half health. This might be an incredibly fast first tower. Well played for the Dire. It's not even a minute and a half in. It's going to drop very shortly after. Counter Helix double procking.
Radiant's bottom tower
And
is under
Gyrocopter
attack.
giving Axe a little bit of harassment here. Looks like they're going to go on top of him. They got 3 on top of the Axe. They stick him in place, and he's going to drop very quickly. Abaddon trying to help him out, but it's not going to do any good. And there he goes. Gyrocopter picking up the Axe for 400 gold. Well played on the Radiant side. Nonetheless, they're going to take this tower very quickly, and so I don't know. It's hard to say whether or not that was worth the first blood or not. Nonetheless, the Radiants were not ready to give it up. Tidehunter reinitiating on top of the Abaddon. He's going to take a lot of damage, and he's going to drop as well. That was definitely not worth the first blood tower, or first tower now. So everybody going right back on top of the Ancient Apparition, and they get him caught in place as well. He's going to take a lot of damage, dropping down to 50% health. He's probably going to drop first, but no, the Abaddon helps him out, and they're going to reinitiate on top of the Gyrocopter. He's going to take a lot of damage, and he goes down as well. What a lot of fighting going on the side of the Dire and the Radiant. Massive plays, both sides. Does it look like, I believe, the Tinker got taken out by the Quap during the whole fight, so just death all around. Well played. We're going to go back onto the Dire side since they're obviously pushing truly. Oh boy. This is a lot of hard play coming on the side of the Dire. They're really shooting for this. They're really trying to pick up as much as they possibly can. I mean, why wouldn't they? 2 minutes in, they've taken a first tower. That's genius. So, nice little smoke gank. They definitely want to go for another pick-off on top of the Dire side. Going to keep following them in. Abaddon starting up the shield on the side of the Axe. They're going to go on top of the Gyrocopter, going to slow him down a little bit. He's going to take a bunch of damage, dropping down, and he's going to go down as well. Abaddon getting that kill as well. They're going to reinitiate further on top of the Tidehunter, dropping him down to about half health, but I don't think they should follow this in all the way. No, they're going to back out. Nonetheless, the Disruptor seeing what's happening, and he's going to come back in on top of the bottom lane, see if he can help his buddy out, but it's already too late. Tide's already out. And they're just going to keep pushing. Ancient Apparition popping a Clarity on himself, and they're just going to work on this tier 2. Guys, this is 3.5 minutes. What a push. Gyrocopter just doing whatever he can just to keep him back off, but Axe diving way too far in. He's slowing everybody down, killing off the creep wave. Ancient Apparition, what are you doing, buddy? You are way too far out of place. And fortunately, Radiant is not following him in. Axe slowing him down. Gyrocopter getting him pulled right back into the tower is going to take him out. Axe is chasing all the way on top of the Disruptor, getting himself a kill, but I don't think that's going to be worth it. You're giving the carry. Abaddon trying to save his life, but almost got him out. But nonetheless, the Gyrocopter does, in fact, get the kill on top of him. Unfortunately, nobody gets the... they don't actually give all of the gold straight to the Gyrocopter. I wonder why that is. I've never figured out that little system, but... Queen of Pain looking for the Courier. He's actually going to get the... That was too close. Finding the Trap Jaw, actually, the TI3 Trap Jaw. Fortunately, the Tinker figures him out early and gets him before he loses the bottle. Very, very close play. Good try, Quap, but unfortunately, you just don't have the damage yet. 2 hits even, but unfortunately, nothing else out of it. Nonetheless, look at this tier 2. We're not even 5 minutes in, and they almost took a tier 2 out of this. We have a little bit of an initiation perchance. No, they're going to go. They're going to slow down that Ancient Apparition. Tinker pushing in the middle lane. Everybody going right, kind of back to their standard resets here in the middle lane. So, except for the Ancient Apparition, definitely helping out the Quap. Axe going full hardcore in right on top of the middle lane. Disruptor giving him a little lip for it, but ultimately he's being unpunished. Where's the Tinker? I'm not exactly sure why he's not coming in to help out against this Axe, but maybe he's just afraid of being a little too squishy against him right now. He's level 6. I almost thought he was level 8. Quap pushing in the lane. Ancient Apparition helping him out. So, a lot of vision coming in on top of this tower. Radiant just not getting anything out of these pushes. I don't think they've done a single point of damage to any one of these towers. Absolutely not.
Attack.
And Dire's just pushing in. They've got a lot of early game aggression, and they are absolutely using it. So, still waiting to see a bit more rotation coming in on the side of the Nature's Prophet. As soon as he gets that, he's got 2 points on the teleportation. So, I'm looking forward to seeing him rotating it at a moment's notice and getting some extra picks. But we'll see if he actually has that kind of communication. Still, the Ancient Apparition going to push on top of this top lane, see what they can take out of it. Axe absolutely coming in and trying to counter corner this Doom. Meanwhile, he's going to get some more creeps once again while the rest of the Dire push on top of the tower. Doom looks like he's going to... Nope, I thought he was going to help out. Gyro taking out the Abaddon. I missed that. I was expecting something to be going on with this, with the Doom, but I was mistaken.
Top tower is under attack.
Especially, I guess, with the Doom all the way back. He's not going to fight this tier 3, this 3 on his tier 1. Not worth it, unfortunately. But more strong plays coming in on the side of the Dire. 7 minutes in, and we already have 2 towers down. So tons of aggression coming on the side of the Radiant. Absolutely taking advantage of everything they should be or on the Dire. Excuse me, not the Radiant. So, lots of global presence coming in very soon. Lots of damage. They're playing it exactly as they should. Long story short. And once again, they're going to rotate right on top of this tier 2. Axe putting down the counter... Or what's it? Battle Hunger. I wanted to say Counter Hunger. And I'm like, no, that's not the right name for it. Everybody pushing in. Gyrocopter actually dropping down his rocket. They're going to go on top of this Axe. And he's going to get stunned very shortly. See if they're going to finish him off. He's going to get rotated all the way back, and he's going to fall. So, quick death. But see if this Axe can actually get out. No, I'm a little unsure why he didn't try and sacrifice himself to the tower. But, nonetheless, the Gyrocopter getting a second kill? No, 4 kills. He's all the way up to 4. Quap actually taking out the Tinker back in the middle lane. So that, at least they have a little bit... No, excuse me, I had it backward once again. Quap is on the Dire side, so full-on aggression coming from this Dire side, but they're playing it not as smart as they should. They're getting the towers, they're getting the kills, but overall, I'm just a little worried for the Radiant. If the Dire can actually pull it together and start playing a little bit smart, they're going to be able to take advantage of all the advantages they've given themselves. Going to roll back on top of the bottom lane where we have the Dire taking on the jungle, and it looks like they're potentially going to find the Tidehunter. He is level 6, so he does have his ultimate. They are going to find one another. See if the Tinker's actually going to rotate in on top of him. Tidehunter potentially, is he going to drop his ult and try and get this Abaddon? No, the Abaddon's too smart for that. He's got his ultimate already figured out. Doom picking up the mechanism. And we don't really have a whole lot else going on right now. We do have the tier 2 bot on the Dire side. That dropped not long ago. Was that Nature's Prophet rotated in, took that tower, finished it off. So, well played. And they're going to do whatever they can to take out this final tier 1 mid on the side of the Radiant. Dire just making all the right plays. It's going to be a little while until the Radiant can actually come online and really work with it. And they're going to go on top of this on the Abaddon. Not the smartest first play, but unfortunately they're going to work. They're going to reverse and return back on top of the Disruptor. Nature's Prophet TPing in, stopping on top of the Disruptor. He's going to be taking him out. Gyrocopter taking out the Axe in the middle lane all the while, and Disruptor just going to keep backing out. We do have a rocket returning on top of the Abaddon, so Radiant's actually going to get something back out of this. They go 2-0 in this middle lane, so absolutely great job coming back on top of him and stopping this return push. Meanwhile, Nature's Prophet, I believe that Nature's Prophet died. No, he did not. So he just potentially stopped, just took back out, teleported back out. We do have the Ancient Apparition ultimate popping on top, and we even have the Abaddon rotating back into the middle lane. So we've got 4, make it 5 back on top of the middle lane right now on the Dire side. They want this tier 1. They are playing very stubborn. They want their towers. They want them now. They want them fast. So see how long they can take advantage of this. Unfortunately, I don't think this is the right move for them right now. Maybe they should perchance rotate back to their lanes. They're losing a lot of XP and gold by sticking together in this middle lane. If they don't get these towers for it, it's not worth it. And they've given a lot of kills over the side of the Radiant. It's not what they need right now. with AA
Radiant's
ultimate
middle
on top
tower
of
has
the
fallen.
upper ground looking for whoever they can find, and they're going to keep playing aggressive. They're going to keep pushing right on top of this middle lane, and all the while they're giving the Tinker all the farm he needs. He looks to be finishing up very soon his boots of travel. The Gyrocopter is getting all of his own experience in the bottom lane, so Dire is getting a lot of towers out of this very early on, but until they can actually get
under attack.
Here's my thought. This is what they need. They need the barracks. Until they get that, all of this strength, all of this hardcore pushing, this is going to be tough. This is going to be very tricky.
Dire's bottom tower is under
Gyrocopter coming back on top. The Doom TPing, pushing back into the middle lane. He's going to get caught out of position. Mech being popped on top of the Radiant side. Looks like they're potentially going to rotate, and Gyrocopter being dropped on top of the Abaddon, which is just going to heal him back up to full health. All the while, the AA ult is going to pop down on top of the Doom, and the Quab is going to take out the Gyrocopter in assistance to the AA ult, but the Doom is actually going to get out. He had a little bit too much health remaining before that it was actually going to take out. Nature's Prophet TPing back home, getting a little bit of health, getting some mana coming back into him, but they're getting all these towers, but I don't know. The aggression is too early. I don't know if they really have the levels and the gold for this. We're going to take a look. Nope, I'm mistaken. They've got the Queen of Pain who's got the level 9 going on, but
under attack.
I don't know. For whatever reason, I'm just a little afraid that this is all way too early of a push in. If they get a Rax, it's going to be very well worth it for
Radiant's
obvious
top
reasons.
tower has
I'm
fallen.
saying the obvious here. But until they get something out of this that keeps the Radiant back in, I'm a little concerned that the Dire is just not going to be... You have 5 Dire pushing into one lane. They're taking 2 sets of towers. Absolutely. Great. But likewise, you have a Tinker in the middle lane, or a Tinker who just... nice little stack. We have a Tinker who just finished his Boots of Travel, and we have a Doom who's just going to be countering everybody. Excuse me. As soon as he gets a little bit more farm in him. They've got a Doom. They've got a Gyrocopter, and they've got a Tidehunter. They're going to have so much reinitiation, and look at this. Just like I was calling it, Radiant actually comes back in, takes out the Axe, takes out the Nature's Prophet. They've got the fight potential. If they don't get the gold, if they don't get the experience to shut them out, if they don't build up greater than the Radiant side, they're not going to ever be able to catch back up again. The Radiant side is just far too carry heavy to have to deal with them in a late game. Which I guess is exactly why the Dire is saying, you know what, fine, we'll push everything in right now. We'll see if we can take an early Rax. We're 13 minutes in, and if I recall, we're now finally seeing the first points on the mid-tier 1 going down, taking a little bit of damage.
Under attack.
So, Radiant still don't have any towers, but they're all up almost 2-1 on the kills. Likewise, we even see Dire's got about 7,500 gold. It's slowly starting to dip back in their favor for the Radiant. But the Radiant had all the XP. So, this is going to be very... Okay, I see exactly what they're doing. They pushed everything in, so the Radiant have absolutely no idea about this quick Roshan. Who's going to pick it up? I'm thinking the Axe is going to pick it up.
Roshan
And he does.
has fallen to the Dire.
So, they're ready for another team fight, but if the Radiant actually get what they want out of this, they're just going to stomp them yet again. So, I guess we'll find out exactly how this is going to happen. We have a little bit of counter pushback on top of the top lane, so nothing
Dire's
massive.
top tower is under attack.
But Dire wants to fight like they have been doing this entire time. Tinker just rotating around, taking whatever he can out of this. He's got his bottle, got his soul ring, got his boots of travel, and looks like he's even working on top of a lightning stick. I'm feeling a little dumb right now. They want to push in. They want this tier 3. Tinker pushing in his March of the Machines on top of the middle lane. And nice little funny missile. Absolutely nothing happening to anybody on that side. Tinker just blowing all of his mana, but it's not like he's far from home. Not a big deal. Nonetheless, I don't think that the Radiant have enough. They have great teamfight potential, but I don't know if they have great defense potential. I hope that doesn't sound strange. At least that's what I'm thinking right now. Unless the Disruptor starts out with his ultimate, and the Tidehunter going in with his ultimate as well. So I guess it depends on who's going to start out this little fight. Tinker reversing the push back in the middle lane, all the while the Nature's Prophet pushing in the bottom lane. Top pushing itself, so not a bad setup. Axe actually taking out the Disruptor. Tidehunter ultimate being popped in the middle lane as well. They're going to keep reinitiating on top of the Axe. He's going to drop, and there goes his ultimate, or his, the Aegis. Nonetheless, they're going to keep reinitiating on top of everybody. Axe taking a massive amount of damage. He's going to drop down to the Gyrocopter, so the Gyro just getting more and more kill out of this. Abaddon taking a rocket to the face. All the while, the Nature's Prophet in the bottom lane. Not sure exactly what he's working on a oh, boy. Desolator. I kept wanting to say Disruptor. I knew that wasn't the right answer, but that's all I could think of right now. So we definitely see the reverse pushing coming back on the Radiant just as well as it should. Did we see? We saw, okay, the Tinker actually rotating to the top lane, pushing the lanes back out. But for all the push potential that they had on top of this middle lane, they melted too quickly. Axe dropping twice, and I don't know. Gyrocopter taking out the Axe taking out the Disruptor. So it was a 1-for-1 here in the middle lane. Dire actually coming back a little bit closer for that fight. Wait, no, they got the Disruptor, didn't they? No, so that was absolutely better for the Dire. So, nonetheless, I'm not going to say it was worth it. They didn't get any towers out of it. So they lost the Aegis, and here's my thought. Focused on the Tinker. If they can finish him off, then they'll be more than free to push back in on top of this middle lane without any worry about the lanes pushing themselves back out. Gyrocopter harassing the Quap a little bit and taking the rocket. She's not going to keep blinking in and out away from that rocket trying to finish it off, but hey, whatever. Tinker pushing back out the lanes, and we actually have a bit of strong rotation. I'm not sure why the Nature's Prophet isn't working with the trees. I would have expected him to be pushing in that lane a little bit more, or maybe he's just afraid of the Tinker getting all the gold for those constant trees, the treants. Quap picking up a double damage rune in the middle lane. Maybe they want to, if I know Dire, they're going to want to go back in for another fight. We do have 4 of them here, and we even have the Abaddon. Looks like he's rotating to the top lane to try and slow down the Tinker. We all know the Tinker's just going to stop. All right, he's going to turn around and run away. Axe not finding anybody. Sorry, buddy, but he's got the Blink Dagger. You're not going to be able to find him. Not going to happen. All the while, we do actually have a little bit of a rotation on top of the middle lane. They're going to work on top of the Ancient Apparition. Ultimate being popped, and the Doom looks like he's going to get the kill. So, nice little pick off with the supports going back in the middle lane. Quap checking everybody out, popping her DD rune, but not exactly sure why. They're not actually ready to fight yet, especially after they just lost their Ancient Apparition. Not the way to start a fight. We do see the Tinker pushing back in on top of this bottom lane.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
So they are absolutely working for their very first tower this time, but it's not going to happen just yet. Not enough damage coming in on the side of the Radiant. We do have a Gyrocopter pushing in, but once again, looks like they are both just going to back out for now. So everybody just kind of going back to resetting everything, just taking a break. I think the Dire finally figured out their error in pushing in absolutely everything as hard as they can. So casting makes me thirsty. Tinker doing as best as he can to push back on top of this lane, doing a ton of damage to the Nature's Prophet. Quap actually looks like he's gonna miss him. Just close. Sorry, buddy, but you were not there fast enough. Tinker even getting right out of the fight. So playing with 3, but not a big deal. Rotating back into the middle lane. Tinker doing what Tinker does best, pushing in lanes, switching in and out. Not sure exactly what to tell the Dire as of right now. It doesn't even look like they're taking advantage of their farm in these lanes, other than potentially the Axe. They need to be getting gold. They need to be working on their experience. So everybody just kind of take a break, working on whatever they can. Nope, I thought I saw the Tinker, but it looked like he was just leaving. Oh, he's actually taking the Ancient Camps. So nice little stack going to the Tinker. And there he goes. He finishes his level 1 Dagon. So lots of damage coming in there. Everybody's just farming now on the side of the Radiant. We have plenty going on. So Radiant doing exactly as they should. I almost feel as if the Dire are... All they're trying to do is just keep lanes pushed in at this point, but they're not getting nearly as much gold and XP as the Radiant are. Let's see if I'm right. The XP... Radiant's just taking off. They've got over close to 4,000 XP. But Dire have the gold. So it's still very much up in the air. That gold graph only is as accented as it is simply because of all the towers. They took 6 towers in, what, 15, 16 minutes? Something like that? We're knocking on the door for the tier 3 mid. So I hesitate to say that the Radiant is in lead. Because since there are no more towers, the only source of gold from here on out are the creeps. And that's exactly where the Radiant excel. They're going to be split pushing and taking so much gold, so many camps. Unless the Dire can actually focus them here back in the base, the Radiant is just going to keep doing where they are. They have no towers here on the side of the Radiant, but they're all still spread out. And Dire is not punishing them for that. They should have wards all over these locations, picking them off, finding out where they're when they're going after the ancients, when they're going after the jungles. They want kills. That's where they should be. Take advantage of the advantage you gave yourself. I would like to see that, but I don't think we're going to. These are still just pup games. They had a lot of strong early aggression, a lot of great teamwork on the Dire, but unfortunately I almost wonder if their days are numbered at this point. They don't have the team fight potential. They don't have the split push potential. All they can really hope is for the Radiant to really make a mistake at this point. Nonetheless, we do see 4 of the Dire actually rotating back into the middle lane. No, it does not look like it after all. You know, the funny thing is, for having that terrain protection actually taken out of the pool, out of the hero pool, Dire hasn't needed it. They've had so much split that at least they got that going for them. Meanwhile, we do have the Nature's Prophet slow pushing the ancient camps. So once again we've got double stacks going on the side of the Radiant. They know how to double stack their camps. They're actually using it. They're exploiting it. Compare that against the Dire. They're not. They are not taking advantage of the gold. They're not taking advantage of the enemy's positioning. They don't have the fight. They don't have the split. I'm just a little... I am worried. I don't think that the Dire have it in them anymore. So I guess we'll find out exactly what happens. Tinker teleporting over the place. We actually do have a Quap who's finding out a position, a nice little disruptor pick. Nope, he's potentially not going to go in on top of this, especially with the gyrocopter. Oh boy, he doesn't see the other 4 right behind him. Or he's just checking everybody out. Don't give yourself away for a single creep there, Quap. Come on, buddy. Looking for that pick. He's going to go on top of the disruptor, and he's going to get pushed right back out, but not before the Nature's Prophet picks off the disruptor. So, rotations in and out. Nature's Prophet ulti is what actually took him out, unfortunately. Sorry, Quap, you did all the work, but you're not going to get the kill out of it. And that might be the initiation that the Dire need. It looks like they're potentially going to be rotating back in the... No, maybe they're not. They're going to be pushing in the middle lane. Sorry, Tinker, your rockets have no value here. Coming back on top of the middle lane, they had a slight opening, but they didn't take advantage of it. Maybe that's because it was only a slight opening. We do see a dust being popped here. Nice little sneak around by the Radiant ward, but gonna work on the big pig. Work on the Roshan. Dire has absolutely no idea, except for maybe the Nature's Prophet. Did the Nature's Prophet give it away? I hope not. I don't think so. Nonetheless, I almost wonder if Radiant figured it out. They picked up a dust, and the Tinker's just gonna be pushing the top lane. I don't think they're gonna be doing anything about it. Yeah, lots of nice little ganks, smoke ganks coming in on the Dire side, but ultimately, nothing they could really do about that. If they figured it out, they figured it out way too late. Chose smartly not to go in on top of it. Dire appear to be pushing this bottom lane. They're all here. The Tinker's nowhere nearby, but as usual, he doesn't need to be. He's just going to teleport right back home. Looks like they're potentially going to be working back on The bottom lane, they're going to be pushing back in on top of it, but I would hope the Dire choose to do something soon. Take advantage of what you've got, and nope, they're all going to wait for the next creep camp. Doom's actually working in on top of the Abaddon as well. The gyrocopter rocket coming in. He's going to get the stun, but they're not going to be able to reinitiate on top of it, or be able to initiate on top of it. Tinker coming back into the middle lane, full boots, full mana, pushing on top, returning fire with the creeps. I just don't know how they're going to be able to fight against this Tinker, especially with all the March of the Machine. Their creeps are not strong enough yet. In fact, they're not even worried. Nature's Prophet's going to be rotating back on top of the top lane
Dire's
instead.
middle tower
Gyrocopter's
is
going to
under
have to counter him. But ultimately, we have too much split. If Dire really want this, they need to get that pick off from the Tide or the Disruptor. They need to push in hard. Abaddon actually popping his ultimate to try and take some damage. There goes the Tide on her ultimate, working on 2. Axe's he's going to have to pop the Aegis. They're going to go right back on top of the middle lane. Abaddon dropping down to the end. Axe taking out the Tide Hunter, so 1-for-1 for the support. But this is when Dire need to be pushing back on top. Nope, they're actually going to have to back out. They're all really low health, and the Axe is going to drop down to the Tinker as well. More rockets coming in, and they're going to get 2 more. 4 going down, and the Nature's Prophet actually working back on top of this tier 3. They're rotating back in. The Disruptor actually coming in. I was kind of expecting the Tinker, and he's going to pull him right back in. He's going to put a lot of damage on top of him, and that's a full team wipe on the side of the Radiant. They just have too much team potential. They have too much split, which is what stops that push back on top of the bottom tier 3. And likewise, they have way too much team fight. Nature's Prophet, even if he was in that fight, I just don't think he was going to be able to help out nearly as much as they needed. So, I don't know what to tell you. I don't think that the Dire are going to be able to take this unless they get a very lucky pick. What they need to do right now, the Dire absolutely needs to be able to go back into smoking up. They need to put down a bunch of offensive wards in their side of the jungle. They need to find picks. Get at least 2 picks on their team and then push in. You have to punish them for being out of position. And you've got such a great opportunity. They took out all 6 towers. They have space. And I'm just afraid that get your picks on and stop their team fight potential. Even if they have a Tinker, because they have no real disable, other than potentially the Doom, of course. Other than that, I don't know anymore. On second thought, the Doom has it. The Gyrocopter has at least one, but Dire need to get back into this fight. They need to take a couple of picks. They need to go back and reinitiate on top of the tower. They need to take a fast set of racks. Otherwise, I just don't think they're going to have it. I know I'm repeating myself, but unfortunately, these are just the same mistakes. I'm not seeing the Radiant taking right now, or I'm not seeing the Dire take right now. We even see the Tinker took out the Nature's Prophet completely by himself. And why wouldn't you? He's already got a level 4 dang. Holy cow. And in about... There he goes. He finishes it off even. So we have a very mad, very angry Tinker. Jumping all over the place. He's going to be soloing targets left and right. He is the... If the rest of the Radiant have all of the team fight potential, the Tinker is what's going to take all of the towers back at this point. So, I hesitate to say it, but I do absolutely believe, other than looking at the kill count, to be completely honest, I haven't looked at the kill count in quite a while. I think Radiant have got this. They have to start taking some towers. If they take out a Nature's Prophet, if they take out a Quap, they need to punish the Dire. They need to take a tower. They're not. So I need to work on my camera work skills, but working on it as best as I can. Gyrocopter going on top of this Queen of Pain, but after she blinked already, I just don't know. I'm a little worried for this dot. She's going to keep jumping all over the place, but it looks like she's going to get out. Nonetheless, that rocket is chasing her down. Doing a massive amount of damage. But the Radiant just weren't going to be able to catch up and be able to initiate on top of her anyway. Nature's Prophet doing whatever he can to stop the Tinker pushes. So, taking a look back on the graph, the gold is absolutely rotating back on the side of the Radiant, and XP just tanking off. Actually, I was a little surprised. I am a little shocked to see it going back into the middle of the graph there for a very short amount of time. But nonetheless, I still feel like this is Radiant's game. Doom taking out the Queen of Pain. A lot of blasts. Picking her out of position. This is not what you should be doing, guys. They're falling apart at the seams. Find your picks. Take your team fights on a couple at a time. And then take a lane. So we have a Tinker rotation back on the top lane. And doing what he always does best. I'm a little curious on when the next Roshan is going to spawn. He's actually got about 2 more minutes until he comes back up. Ancient Apparition picking up a nice little replicants, whatever that is. And everybody's just kind of going back to farming for now. Unfortunately, I don't... interesting. I guess they decided not to have the Queen of Pain going back onto the Dire lane, or on the Radiant bottom lane. Are we actually going to see a rotation here back in the middle lane? Looks like it. Who finished their item? We have the mech finished, or no, excuse me, the pipe finished on the axe. So even more health regen, even more magic resist, but not sure that's the answer they need right now. Okay, we do have the mech on the Abaddon, so we've got a lot of heal, a lot of sustain going back on the Dire side. Likewise, let's take a look at the Radiant real quick. I want to know if they actually have any... Okay, the Doom has the mechanism, and it looks like he's even going to be working... Oh, excuse me.
Ooh, they never miss.
I need to stop missing these Tinker pushes. Jumps right on top of the Ancient Apparition and just completely blasts him. We even have a rotation coming back from the Abaddon on the top lane against it, but is a little too late. Stopping the bottom lane push.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
Gyro taking out the first tier 1 on the side of the Radiant.
Is under attack.
And we even have a rotation coming back on the top lane. And looks like they're going to be initiating on top of this gyrocopter. Bunch of silence coming down. Nope, that's not for him. That's for the Abaddon. Stopping his ultimate. No, the ultimate actually kicks through anyway. Disruptor taking out the Queen of Pain. 2 down on the side of the Dire. They're actually going to keep picking at him. No, the gyrocopter's going to drop down first. Rocket hitting on top of the Abaddon. They're going to keep working on top of the Disruptor, but ultimate from the Ancient Apparition going to finish off the Disruptor here very shortly. Still a lot of damage coming on top of the Abaddon. No ultimate to save you that time, buddy. They're going to keep going and work on top of this axe. Abaddon actually taking out the Abaddon. We actually see a 3-for-3 trade on both sides right now. Still going to be working on top of this Abaddon, or on top of this Doom. Axe actually getting the kill on top of the Doom first before he takes him out. And the Ancient Apparition even tried to work on top of the axe. I have it backward. They were working on the Tinker. Didn't get it finished. So this is when everything needs to get pushed in. Tinker doing everything he can by himself to actually push these lanes back out, while the Dire actually try and push these lanes, push them all in. Great fight on the side of the Radiant. Just a lot of misplay coming on the side of the Radiant. Excuse me. Dire doing the great plays. Radiant actually not getting exactly what they needed out of that fight. Talking so fast I can't even hear myself once in a while. Smoke coming back on top of the Disruptor. Maybe they want to go back in for yet another one of these. Doom even finishing his Assault Cuirass. Even further teamfight potential coming in on the side of the Radiant. We have 4 coming back in the middle lane. Quap here. Maybe they feel like that this was all they really needed. Maybe they feel like they actually have the fight and split push potential. I don't feel like they do. I feel like they got lucky with that fight, but nonetheless, oh, nope, they're waiting for the Roshan. Sorry, give 45 seconds. It'll be up very shortly. I don't think the Radiant would even be able to really see that. It's close, but not to say the Radiant or the Dire would be attempting that. Ancient Apparition pushing back on top of the middle lane. Pushing back on the middle lane. Everybody on the Radiant side just kind of getting... Everybody going back to their own lanes. Dire once again sticking together toward close to the middle lane. That top tier 1 though, is so close. Just a couple pecks on the cheek and it would go down. Desolator actually finished up on the Nature's Prophet. Excuse me. And we do have a Scepter coming up on the Ancient Apparition, so very good pickup on that side now. And they are indeed working on top of the Roshan now. This is hopefully going to be a push for the Dire's sake on top of that tier 3 in the top lane. He's taken a lot of damage. I don't know if the Radiant have figured it out, though. They're going to send in a replicate to see if they figure it out. No, they're not. So they're just going to get a free Roshan out of this.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Radiant, no, but I just don't think they're going to be there fast enough. They've dropped the smoke, but they're not going in on top of this.
Roshan has fallen.
You're too late, guys. Sorry. You backpedaled far too much. I would have at least tried to send it a Queen of Pain. What's a replicant cost, really? For that kind of information and knowledge. They needed to know what was going on. Radiant or Dire have taken 3 Roshans now, so it's not out of the ordinary for them to have expected it. And they just chose not to reinitiate on top of it. They had the team fight potential. I'm sorry, Radiant. I think that was a very sorely missed opportunity. Queen of Pain picking up yet another DD rune in the middle lane. Let's see if they actually want to fight with this time. I would love to see them actually push on top of this top lane as best as they can. Push it all the way in. Get themselves a nice tier 3. But at the same time, that would potentially make it expected. I guess we'll find out what happens, right? Tinker saying, no, I'm not going to let you guys push in this top lane. Pushing it back out again. Taking all the frame farm and gold they can. Dire, once again, back in the middle lane. Stuck together, other than the Quap and the Abaddon, who have decided to go checking out the bottom lane for a little, or the jungle for a little bit. Abaddon even picking up a book 3. So... it even looks like the Tinker's actually going to be rotating in for a tier 2, but they're going to miss this. He chose to rotate out at the wrong time. They're going to be pushing back in on top of this bottom lane as hard as they can. Tinker TPing back out, but he's going to be a little late if they actually can focus on this tower. This might be the first tier 3 of the game going down. They need to focus it hardcore. They're still waiting for the the 2 supports to come in and reinitiate, but they're going to be very slow. The pipe getting popped first. And they're going to get this tier 3 first. Well played on their side. But now they need to just back out. No, all the entire Radiant team is getting popped. The ultimates from the supports are being popped. And in fact, the Abaddon's taking a lot of damage, but he's going to survive. Axis Aegis is being popped as well. Doom actually going down first. They're going to keep rotating on top of this Gyrocopter. He's getting caught vastly out of place, and he's going to go down very shortly. The Doom even buys back in. Gyrocopter buys back in. Dire going back on top of the lane. Great picks finally on the side of the Dire, getting exactly what they needed out of those early tier 2, tier 1s. They're not rotating on top of the tower. The Tinker actually taking out, the Gyrocopter taking out the Abaddon. Tinker popping his the dagger and not getting a kill out of it. Nonetheless, they're actually going to be working on top of the Doom. They're going to finish him off very shortly. There he goes. Finish off the racks. Earn what you came here for, guys. Finally, we have a glyph being popped on the side of the Radiant. So, massive kills on the side of the Radiant. Even though they were up by so much, they're not going to get the racks out of it. The Quap get taken down by the Tinker. Axe actually jumping in. What was that? You had an advantage. You didn't focus on the racks. You kept going. You slow-picked kills. Wasted time. Nature's Prophet, though, actually taking out the tier 3 mid, or tier 3 top. He's going to try and TP out. No, he's way too slow. Oh, boy. I hesitate to say that was worth it because it shouldn't be an entire team wipe for the cost of a couple of tier 3s. They got a lot of kills out of it. They had a massive advantage, and they threw it all away. So, I don't know what to tell you guys. That was going great for the Dire team until they didn't back. I don't know exactly what would have been the best move for them there. They took out the tier 3 in the bottom lane. That's when they got the kills that they desperately needed. But at the same token, it means they didn't get a Rax. So I don't really know what would have been the best way. Nonetheless, going for the kills meant they died off as well. So that has to be the worst way to go. It has to be the worst decision, unfortunately.
Dire's middle tower.
Disruptor actually pulling in on top of the Ancient Apparition, and Tinker's just going to blow him up. Great play by the Tinker and the Disruptor. Well played. Nonetheless, the Abaddon's actually searching out for the Tidehunter in the middle lane. Not going to find him, but it doesn't matter. Radiant's going to get an easy, simple little tier 2 in the mid lane. We have a Tinker and a... Nope. It matters not. He's going to chase... Oh, massive damage, but Abaddon's ultimate is up. He's just going to heal him back up very soon. He's not going to get that kill. They're going to chase on top of the Tinker, but they have no disable. He doesn't even... The Nature's Prophet doesn't even have the sheep stick. Pick one up. That's how you're going to stop the Tinker, buddy. Sorry to tell you, but you're just not going to be able to do anything until you do that. You need to stop him from jumping away. In fact, I don't even think we have any real disable or anything like that on the side of the Dire. Oh, no, we do. Okay, the Queen of Pain has one. Very interesting. Nonetheless, we do have everybody rotating back on the Radiant side toward the tier 3 mid, tier 3 top. Let's see if the Quap actually is willing to work on the Tinker a little bit. They're going to work hard on this first Rax. They're going to work on the melee. And looks like they're easily going to take it, but that's only because the Gyrocopter is nowhere nearby. Tidehunter ultimate being dropped on top of 4. And they're going to keep working on everybody. Axe about to drop first, it appears. Abaddon actually taking out the Gyrocopter first. Doom taking out the Axe. Tinker taking out the Queen of Pain. Everybody rotating on top of the Abaddon. He's not going to be able to survive this time. He's already popped his ultimate. Ancient Apparition ult coming in. And we have 4 dropping on the side of the Dire. Nature's Prophet actually picking off the Tidehunter before he takes off. So, these picks, I don't know. I mean, you got a full set of racks, but I feel like the Dire is just doing every desperate move they possibly feel like they can at this point. There's no bait. There's no lure. It's hardcore pushing. That's all they have. And whenever it fails, like this, Tinker's just going to get more farm.
Radiant's middle tower is under
That's not Tinker. Not sure what to tell you. Oh, there he goes. Tinker getting yet another pick off by the Ancient Apparition. Now we have a full team wipe. But, come on, buddy. You should know better than that by now. He's, picked you off 3-4 times now? It's just solos. Solo picks. So, don't know what to tell you, man. But, nonetheless, Tinker hitting 7,000 gold. We've finally broken even back on the side of the Radiant, picking up for all the gold lost at the very beginning of the game from all the towers. But that doesn't matter because they are just absolutely taking off in terms of experience. 20,000 experience on the side of the Radiant. Nature's Prophet actually making a switched move back on top of this bottom lane. He drops in the book 1, looks like. He's not going to do any damage. Tinker's probably just laughing it off right now. Doesn't mean it didn't get a rotate out of him. So, a lot of damage coming on the side of the Nature's Prophet. Nope, that is a level 3. My mistake. They want to push in. They've got 3 on the side of the Dire actually pushing in this lane. I would give it a shot as fast as you can, guys, especially because you got 2 of the powerhouses pushing back on that lane. Tinker is squishy. If it wasn't for the fact that he had the Dagon, he's got a Bloodstone now, so actually I have to take it back. He's at 2.5k health. Nature's Prophet pushing back in this middle lane. They're making all the right moves. Now, split push the lanes back in, especially with all the... No, Tinker's actually going to take out that Nature's Prophet very easily. Rotating back on top of the middle lane. Disruptor pulling in the Axe. He's just going to get absolutely focused right now, but he's so tanky. Tidehunter ultimate dropping on top of him, stopping for a little bit longer. Axe going to drop, though. So, 2 down on the side of the Dire, forcing him to retreat as fast as they can. Gyrocopter saying, not yet, guys. I want to play a little bit more. He's not going to drop anything. Doom's actually going to jump in as well, but they're not going to catch him. Everybody's just backing out. Whew. They want a second set of racks, and I can't say I blame them, but they've missed their opportunity. The Radiant is no longer actually sticking out in the middle of the field. Dire has proven to themselves, proven to the Radiant that anytime they ever try and step out of line, they're going to try desperately for a for a full set of racks. So ultimately, that's the only. Oh, here comes the Quap. He's potentially going to get taken out by the Tinker once again. He knows to run. He's working as hard as he can, but the Dire. Okay, excuse me. That is a Tinker. Tinker Courier. Quap actually returned back to the middle lane, trying to work
Dire's
on the
middle
creeps a
tower
little bit,
is
dropping a
under attack.
Necro 3 for this. That's a lot of Necro 3s. Tinker actually coming on top, jumping on top. No. Never mind. Nonetheless, we have a big push in the middle coming on the side of the Radiant. All 5. Everybody but the Tinker pushing back on top of this middle lane, forcing the Dire to retreat. So a lot of fights going all over the place. A lot of playing around. Tinker having to play cleanup, being forced to retreat back into the top lane. Pick up against the mistake that they had earlier in the game. So, nonetheless, we got a big rotation returning back in this. I'm a little afraid that they're going to be fighting against something they shouldn't be right now. They're not ready. They don't have an Aegis of the Immortal. They need to back up. I'm not exactly sure what other kind of items they should be picking up right now. Ancient Apparition even getting his... he had his Axe for a little while. Axe should probably switch out his boots at this point. I don't know if those Tranquil boots are going to be helping out now, buddy. Quap getting your teleport boots. Oh, for a second there, I thought Nature's... no, I guess Nature's Prophet wouldn't need boots to travel, would he? That would be funny. And here they go. They're going right on top of the Roshan, picking up that Aegis very quickly. Very fast kill. And Axe picking up the Aegis. And the who picked up the cheese? Was it the Nature's Prophet? Nope, Quap picking up the cheese. So all the carries picking up all the important items right now. We even have a Necronomicon 1. Oh, excuse me, Necro Book 3 finished up on the Quap. So a lot of pushing coming up. They desperately want to try for this tier 3 mid, and pardon me for just one moment. Oh, sure, okay. All right, so we go right back down to a bottom tier 3 push. Everybody's got everything that they possibly need. They've got their Necropokes. They've got the Nature's Prophet treants coming in. They even have the Axe. They have the Aegis on the Axe of the tree. The cheese coming in. We have the BKB being dropped on top of the Gyrocopter. We have the Disruptor ult being popped at everybody. Where's the title? We don't have it yet. Everybody's melting on the side of the Radiant. We got a lot of damage being taken on the Dire, but they're not dying. We're actually pushing on top of the Doom. He's gonna take it down very soon. No, the Tinker's actually gonna be working on the Queen of Pain, but she's gonna get a lot of damage back right out. We have the Axe jumping right back into the fight, getting a Blade Mail pop, taking out the Doom. The Ancient Apparition, the ultimate, even taking out the Queen of Pain. So we're going to keep pushing back in, and they're going to easily take a second tier 2. Well played, Dire. Great job coming back on top of this. The Tinker teleporting, what, a whole 20 feet? Nonetheless, 2 drop on the side of the Dire. They need to back out. They've taken all the advantage they possibly can. Get out while you still can. Lots of damage coming out. 2 of them dropping. Nope, the Abaddon's actually looks like he's going to back out. They're going to rotate and focus on top of the Axe instead, but he's... Nope. Juke picks, I guess. Nonetheless, the Axe is going to get out. Well played. They got a second set of racks out of it. You can't fault them for that one. That's going to make Tinker's life so hard right now. He's just going to have to be jumping all over the place. The split push is real. I hesitate to say that the Dire, their brute strength, the Radiant had it for a long time. Early game, mid game, they had the fight potential, but unfortunately they're just losing that opportunity. They have the Tinker who's being able to split push everything, but split push what? He's got nothing now. He's got the top lanes being pushed in as hard as possible. He's got the bottom lanes being pushed in as hard as possible now. He's got a lot of work ahead of him. We even have a big rotation on the side of the Radiant coming back in. They're taking out the tier 3 mid. They're going to work on this and see whatever they can take out of this. So that's going to do... It's not going to relieve the pressure, but it's definitely going to help out against the enemy. Tinker absolutely blowing up the Queen of Pain. And they're going to rotate on top of the Ancient Apparition. Easy kills for the Tinker. Well played. And Axe is trying to threaten this Tinker as best as he can. He's not given a chance to actually... He can't use his ultimate just yet. They're trying. They're jumping all over the place. Tinker actually getting his ultimate finally off. He wants to go back in. He's going to blow up the Nature's Prophet. And that's a lot of damage. Sorry, goodbye, have a great day. Tinker doing everything he can just to push in the lanes. Disruptor being forced to stay back, but He's going to slow down the lanes, but ultimately he's not going to be able to take out these two super creeps. They need to do something very quickly. If they don't push down mid, if they don't... This is such a crucial game for both sides. They have a very difficult game against both sides. Axe actually picking up his Heart of Terras. That's going to be great for the pushing in. Oh boy, it's so up in the air right now. We've got to 5,000 on the Radiant. They're getting absolutely everything that they need to out of the gold. But, wow, we actually broke over 2,500 on the side of the experience, but we're actually starting to dip back in toward the side of the Dire. I guess we'll find out why. We actually have a push coming back onto the Ancient Apparition. He's going to laugh off that AA ultimate for a little while. So much damage coming back on the top and the bottom lane. So I'm not too worried about the Dire anymore. They've absolutely recovered from the concerns that I was having earlier. I thought that the Radiant was absolutely going to be able to take this match, but they're not taking full advantage of their of what they had. They had upper ground, they had two massive ultimates, they had a Doom, and then they have a Tinker who's just blowing everybody up, and yet ultimately they're not getting the fight. They're not sticking together, they're not working together as a team exactly like I believe that they need to be doing. Because of this, Dire's early game advantage of 6 towers, it's getting thrown right back in their face at this point. So Radiant need to absolutely pull this back in together. I think they've got a chance. Excuse me, but I guess we'll see what happens. Bloodstone hitting 16 charges right now. He's very awkwardly switching out items right now. Not exactly sure what kind of build he wants to go for right now. Roshan spawning back up in 3 minutes. So, very soon I would expect a massive push. AA pushing, returning in, split pushing back on top of this middle lane. Getting two range creeps, so not that big of a deal. Nonetheless, Dire is, once again, they're just forced to stick back in the lane. There's not a whole lot they can do at this point right now. Even the Tinker is being limited. Too much split going on in all lanes. They need to get their gold, but they're too afraid to go back in the reverse high ground. I can't say I blame them. Quap pushing in, Abaddon pushing in, Tinker reverse pushing. Actually, they want to go on top of the Queen of Pain. The Tinker actually going right on top. He's going to stun him twice, and he's just going to keep blowing him up. Little slow on the returns, but he's going to get a very easy kills. You cannot be singled out. This is so crucial for the Dire. If they want to be able to capitalize on all their advantages, stop split pushing solo. You got to work. Here we go, right on top of the Nature's Prophet. They're going to work on top. He's so free for his life. He's just going to run as fast as he can. I can't blame him. Tinker getting easier gold out on top of the Necro 3 books. That's an easy 400 gold. You can't do this, guys. Dire, why are you so split? You had... I don't know what to say. At this point, I would have said, gather up, split push mid, take the Roshan as soon as you get a chance, and that way you've got pressure on all 3 lanes. The heroes in the middle lane are going to be just as tanky, or just as difficult to deal with as the super creeps on both the top and the bottom lanes. That's where you need to focus. Give them so much to work with that they have absolutely no choice. No matter what, even if all 5 on the Dire die, which obviously is not a good circumstance, but they potentially have bought so much time that the top and the bottom lanes are going to get pushed in. Likewise, if the Tinker actually has to rotate to one of the top and bottom lanes, that's all their damage gone, and the Dire are going to be able to take out the rest of the team. So, I feel like these are missed opportunities, but what do you expect from a pub match, right? So, waiting for the Roshan to spawn back up. We got less than a minute until that, but we'll see if the Dire actually want to rotate back in and work on that. Take your opportunities, quit solo pushing lanes, and work together as the team, like the team that you have been this entire time. Nonetheless, Radiant is just not afraid to leave the base. They're too afraid to do anything but leave the base. Other than, of course, the Tinker. He's blowing everybody out. I'm not sure exactly what the Radiant is, or what the Dire is looking for here. I guess the only thing they really want to do right now is split push the lanes in the sense of sticking near their side of the river. Nature's Prophet actually picking up a feeling. I has the dumb right now. Lincoln Sphere. Gosh, I should know that item's name by heart, but I don't. Roshan coming back up in 2 minutes. Axe still solo killing off the ancient camps. We have. Where was the Tinker? I heard the Dagon. Okay, I thought he was actually targeting somebody and I was missing it, but everybody just up on the Dire side, just farming as best they can. Axe keeping an eye on the Roshan. Sorry, buddy, you're going to be waiting another 2 minutes. That's a complete waste of your time. Get out of there and go get some gold. Nature's Prophet, everybody's still just, they're focusing up on whatever they can. And unfortunately, I hate to say this, but this is absolutely better for the side of the Radiant. They're getting more gold. The creeps are coming to them. They don't have to leave the lane. Dire they're actually just getting standard creeps. They're getting standard ancients. While all in the meanwhile, Radiant is actually getting more XP. They're getting more gold. Everything is being hand delivered to them. So we still see it. As a matter of fact, even with nothing going on, Radiant is still really high up on the gold. They have okay, so we've actually got a little under 20,000 on the side of the Radiant's XP going on. So I bet you that was basically capped off due to the Tinker no longer having the ability to split push. Or excuse me, he's not split push, but level up. He's 25. We actually see a smoke gang coming in potentially on the side of the Radiant. I bet you $10 they're actually looking for a Roshan pick here. They're not that they're going for Roshan, but that they're expecting him to be at Roshan. So Doom actually getting spotted out by the Queen of Pain, who's going to take off.
Radiant's
they're looking for the
middle tower
Roshan.
is
He's
under
not
attack.
there yet. So still, they're going to give a little bit of vision. And are Radiant actually going to go for this? No, they're not. They're actually going to get spotted out by the Dire either way. But whew, a whole lot of nothing. Everybody's just playing a game of chicken right now. Waiting for the final picks. And a whole lot of nothing. Everybody's afraid to make a move right now. And Dire absolutely do not want to make a move until they pick up Roshan, who has now indeed respawned, but that was a long 4 minutes. I don't know how many times Dire had to check that base, or had to check the Roshan pit. Finally, they see him coming, and the rest of the team is going to rotate in. We do see the Quap coming in, the Axe is coming in, Nature's Prophet is going to be jumping in very shortly, I'm sure. And it looks like the Axe is going to be picking it up. He dropped his portal scroll for it. Radiant being forced to back out. We have a little bit of a push coming back in, but there's nothing they can do about this. Even if they chose to go after this, that would be a bad move, just because they're going to be losing their tier 3, their tier 4s out of it. So just waiting this one out, and then we're going to potentially see a nice, a strong push down the middle lane. You know what would be funny though? If they actually had more boots of travel, they pushed in the bottom lane, and did a fast push to the top lane. If they boots had traveled all the way to the top lane, I don't know if the Radiant would be able to figure out that little prank. So I guess we'll find out what happened. They're all going to push back into the middle lane. No tricky maneuvers here. Axe getting everything he needs. They're actually going to reinitiate on top of the. They're going to initiate on top of the Tidehunter. Abaddon taking massive damage, but his ultimate's going to pop back in. AS is going to melt as well. 3 dropping on the side of the Radiant, or the side of the Dire. Nonetheless, the Axe is going to come back into the fight, but he's just lost his Aegis. He has no more extra strength. They're just going to jump right on top of him, everybody. Finally getting Doom pick off. The Disruptor dropping as well. Nature's Prophet taking a ton of damage from the Tinker before he's going to bail out of this fight. Axe actually taking still more damage. The Tinker's just laughing at this damage coming out of him.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Dire could do nothing. And the Gyrocopter rocket finishes off the Nature's Prophet. That was a fast rocket, you gotta admit. He jumped so far. But ultimately, Dire have no answers. They have 2 sets of racks taken. They had all the time in the world waiting for the Roshan to come back in. They put it on their Axe, and they got team wiped. Absolutely slaughtered. The Tinker, I don't know what to tell you. He's just doing a shotgun build. He's got his own version of a shotgun build. He's got an Ethereal Blade, and he's just going to keep rearming and blasting them out. So I don't know what to tell you guys. We've definitely got to switch back to the side of the Radiant now. Obviously, they can do the team fight potential that I've been telling you all along that they've been able to do. So all they have to do now is keep reinitiating. As a matter of fact, I'm a little disappointed that the Radiant didn't take the massive advantage that they just had with the team wipe and push right down middle lane. It was a little bit of a slow return, but Tinker would have been able to at least stop the creeps from coming back into the lane while the other 4 pushed in. So it's not like, a Dagon's going to be able to do anything against the tower or barracks anyway. So I would have sent the other 4 in, have the Tinker stick back, and stop the lanes from pushing while they take their first racks.
Dire's
Actually,
middle barracks
the range barracks actually get taken out by the side of the Radiant,
Radiant's
so
middle tower
they're finally
is
getting
under
something
attack.
out of this. Nonetheless, they want to work on this Tinker so bad. They need this kill, and they're just not going to get it. Quap actually rotating in. He's going to get him for 1,400 gold, and so does the Gyrocopter and the Tidehunter going down as well. Massive damage. The Dire's actually trying to work as best as they can on top of this Doom. They're finally getting 4 of them going down. They're actually going to be working on the Doom, and they're going to get it. Doom getting a reverse, or Dire getting a reverse team wipe. Tinker being forced to buy back. Still just laughing at it. How much gold does he have? He's still got 6 grand in the bank. That's a full. Oh my god, that's too much gold. Then again, what's he going to spend it on other than the buybacks at this point, right? Doing everything to push back into this lane. We have Dire coming back into the lane. Nature's Prophet backing in. We only have a Tide, and we have a Tinker actually pushing back into the middle lane. If they don't do anything, this tier 4 is going to drop. Massive push coming back into the Dire. This is their chance. 3 more buybacks on the side of the Radiant. This could be it. They just don't have the time to come in. Tidehunter actually stopping the whole fight. Abaddon going right back into the full health. Axe taking all of the damage. 3 dropping on the side of the Dire. Axe about to go down as well. And Abaddon's the only one left. They had their chance. They did everything they possibly could, but unfortunately, yeah, I gotta say that's as best as the Dire had. That's everything they had. They did everything they needed to. They waited and they forced 4 buybacks because the Tinker bought back first. Then we had the Gyro Disruptor and the Doom doing their own buybacks as well. Great plays. Unfortunately, I'm sorry, Dire. Your massive early game advantage, it didn't work out. They're going to push for game as best as they can, but even with an Ancient Apparition coming back in 20 seconds, nobody else is coming back in. No, Quap actually returning. That's a good idea. I want to check and see if the buybacks. Nobody else can buy back for the rest of this game, I don't believe. Make this go away. Make this go away. Thank you.
Dire's middle barracks.
We have another rotation back on top of the middle lane. Nonetheless, Axe is going to get picked off. He's going to get worked on by absolutely everybody. Ancient Apparition all coming on top of him. They're going to work on top of him, but the Axe is just taking... He just kept getting focused. And why wouldn't you? He's the powerhouse of the the Dire side right now. They're going to work on top of the tier 4s, but the Nature's Prophet, the Abaddon, they're still out of this fight. Keep working on it, guys. Keep taking out that tier 4. Take what you can. Ancient Apparition dying and buying back into the game. Excuse me, Doom was the one who died, not the Ancient Apparition. Excuse me. Nonetheless, they were able to defend the tier 4s before everybody had to back out. But at least they relieved I don't know if I should say relieved pressure is the right wording, because they still didn't get any other lanes. The mid is being controlled by the Radiant, and the top and the bottom lanes are being controlled by the Dire. So there's no pressure being relieved here. Dire would have to at very least Radiant would have to at very least take the top or the bottom lanes to have some pressure relieved, which will give the Tinker some split push potential. What an even game. We're pushing 65 minutes here. This is just not stopping. Tinker pushing back down to the bottom lane, doing as best as he can. Gyro pushing the top lanes as best as he can. And this is, I don't know, it's a coin flip right now, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think we're going to have much of a... It depends on who gets to fight first. Dire has proven themselves that they can indeed fight if they get the first pickoffs. Otherwise, if they don't get that advantage, Radiant are absolutely going to take that fight, without a shadow of a doubt. Nonetheless, we have a big push coming back in on the side of the Dire. What I would like to see from them now, push in the lane, but back off. You can't fight. You can't dive. Oh, they're going to try. Ancient Apparition ult being pushed in. We have a Gyro ult being popped on top of the middle lane call down. There goes the side of the melee barracks on the middle lane. They're going to focus hardcore on the Radiant. They're actually going to take it. They've got the full mega creeps going on down, but unfortunately for the price of 3 carries on the side of, 2 carries and an Ancient Apparition on the side of the Dire, Nature's Prophet getting blown up. That's 4 down on the side of the Radiant, 5 down on the side of, not on the Radiant. Dire's lost all 5. Team wipe on the side of the Dire. Wow. Nonetheless, they've got one shot at this. Dire pushing down into the middle lane. Unfortunately, even with all the team fight potential that they have, they need the rack. They need the base. They need the throne right now. Otherwise, all of these mega troops, they're going to overpower them. Going to do everything we can just to focus here on this middle lane. Once again, we only have the Ancient Apparition spawning in another 20 seconds. Everybody else is out for a full minute. Rotating back on top of this middle lane. See if they can actually get anything out of this. They can't buy back.
Middle tower is
Nobody can buy back for a bare minimum of at least a minute. And that's more than enough time for the Dire to actually Radiant to finish off this game. And they're going to take it. Working on the tier 4s, it's going to go down, and there's literally nothing the Radiant can, the Dire can do to actually salvage the game. Well played on the side of the Radiant. Great job for both teams. And Tinker absolutely saved this game for them. The Tidehunter and the Disruptor had some amazing plays helping out the team. Doom doing everything he can to stop everybody. And ultimately, what a game. This was an honor to cast. Thank you very much, Dota 2 Casted. I loved this game. This was a ton of fun. Props to both the Radiant and the Dire. They both played well. They both played as a team. And no shit talking. We had a great job. So I'm very happy. This was a fun game. Once again, my name is Ninja Chris. This was a Ninja Chris Casts. And you guys have a wonderful day.